With the new NBA season just on the horizon, there's no better way to add on to that anticipation by giving my NBA season predictions. So, we're going to be talking about the Defensive Player of the Year, the regular season MVP, the finals matchup, the winner of the finals MVP, and many more other accolades for the new NBA season. So, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So, let's start where last season's season ended, the NBA Finals. The two teams that made it last year were the Lakers and the Heat, which ended in a 6-game series where Jimmy Butler showed up everyone as he should have, showing himself as a superstar on a young Miami Heat team, while LeBron led his team along with Anthony Davis to the Lakers' 17th Finals win. However, the question comes up now, who makes it this year? With the Western Conference bound to be stronger, with the Clippers on a revenge season, Luka Doncic coming out as one of the better players in the league, the young Nuggets trying to make their own run, Donovan Mitchell rising up as the new scoring phenomenon. There's no shortage of questions that hopefully will be answered within this upcoming season. Not only in the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference. Can the Miami Heat make it back? I don't know. It's looking unlikely. The Bucks just got Drew Holiday and some other pieces to make their team far better. The Celtics have more than definitely have improved. I feel like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will take the next step. And then, there are just other teams like the Atlanta Hawks who made some moves. But in my opinion, I think the matchup will be the Lakers versus the Celtics. I do believe after their loss to the Heat, the Celtics will figure out some things. I do think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will take the next step. Jason Tatum, I believe next year may be a superstar caliber player, and maybe even one just generally the better players in the league. He has great defense, a great 3-level scorer, sharpshooter, very crafty with his handle, really smart with his plays and whatnot, and is generally developing into a great leader. Along with Jaylen Brown being a great co-star for him, the perimeter defender, great, surprisingly good post defender as well. And I just can't wait to see what those two do. And I think they'll be able to get out the East even over Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. As far as the Western Conference, I do think LeBron and AD are just such an amazing duo that it's going to be near impossible to beat those two on the court. And with that being said, I think that's my finals matchup. And I do think the Lakers will end up winning though, but in a 6-game series similar to last year. But this year, I think things are going to be a little different. If you notice, last year, Anthony Davis played more center than power forward during the playoffs, and I think that will be the same for this regular season, even through the playoffs as well. And I also think that the offense may favor more into Anthony Davis this year. LeBron isn't getting any younger, and he's already, I guess, shown his own view on the NBA starting up around this time. Think it's too early, think it's unfair to people that went far into the playoffs last year, and they didn't get enough rest as many of the other players. And I do think that'll sort of nudge LeBron to having the offense being a little more on Anthony Davis, maybe moving him as the first option to the team and let the offensive run through him. With that being said, I think Anthony Davis may get the finals MVP. He is younger, he is the next guy up, and similar to Magic and Kareem, we could see a actual change of power midway through a Lakers dynasty, with it going from LeBron to AD, just like how in the past it went from Kareem to Magic. With that being said, we really don't know, but this is the best guess I can give for the finals. As far as the MVP though, I think there can be no other person to win the MVP, no other than Luka Doncic. Within his playoff matchup against the Clippers, he put up 31 points, 9.8 rebounds, 8.7 assists on 60% true shot, and only had a 16.6 turnover percentage. These numbers really don't show how amazing Luka was. He truly did everything on that offense. An offensive maestro, controlled everything, was the lead shot creator, seemingly the only person ever making a shot on that team, on that Mavericks team. And he was just amazing, and I do think that will be able to carry on to next season. His play in the regular season and playoffs will definitely turn some heads, and there will be some eyes on him coming this year. If he can put up amazing numbers, that's great. Personally, to me, I'm not a guy who really I guess puts numbers high on my pedigree for what makes greatness, but for the MVP, that's what they look for. And personally, I wouldn't mind, because Luka is just amazing, and he is well deserving of that MVP coming next year. Defensive player of the year, however, is a little more different to say. You have some guys like Bam Adebayo, a young Jonathan Isaac within the Magic with some amazing defensive plays. You still have Marcus Smart out with the Celtics, Rudy Gobert with the Jazz, but I think Giannis Antetokounmpo may take home the defensive player of the year once again. I see no reason that the Bucks don't have the best defense or near the best defense again. I see no reason that Giannis defensive rating would go down any of those crazy defensive numbers. If you remember, like I'm pretty sure he had the defensive win share of 5, a defensive box plus minus of 4.1 with 1 block and 1 steal. He had 11.4 defensive rebounds for that regular season on only 3.1 personal fouls. That's a really good defensive stat line, and I do think that the Bucks will key in more to him playing a little more that center position, allowing him to roam around the paint some more and be more effective as a paint defender and help defender overall, getting closer and closer within the paint. With that being said, I will see his block numbers going up a little bit more, and overall I think that will be just enough for him to repeat as defensive player of the year. I don't see Rudy Gobert getting it again. I think Bam Adebayo just needs a little bit more time before I can say he's defensive player of the year caliber. And as far as Marcus Smart, it's just insanely hard for a guard, just in general, any perimeter player, to get defensive player of the year. And with that being said, like, I just think Giannis is the clear-cut answer for that. As far as the most improved player, I think without a shadow of a doubt, it would probably be Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz last year on per 36 numbers put up 15.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 2.7 turnovers, and only 2.6 personal fouls with 1.6 steals as well. I believe he'll be the most improved player, and I definitely think he's worthy of getting that starting point guard position over at the Magic. The Magic don't seem like they're trying to do anything or try to go into any direction, but if Markelle Fultz can even put up the same numbers that he did last year on per 36 in a starting position, I think the Magic have a bright future, and we can continue to see Markelle Fultz improve along with the Magic as well improving. However, the most interesting and the most annoying, and probably will be the most heated thing throughout the series season. I said season are the All-NBA teams, because there are a lot of players who are going to be coming back from injury. There are a lot of players within the playoffs who sort of just showed up and put the world on notice, like Donovan Mitchell. Some players within the bubble who did the same, like Devin Booker. And so it's going to be really hard to it's going to be interesting it's going to be more interesting, I would say, of who the All-NBA teams will be. But for my first team, I have LeBron, Luka, Kawhi, Giannis, and Anthony Davis. I have Anthony Davis at center, mainly believing that the Lakers will put him at center, mainly because of the roster changes and how last year in the playoffs they played Anthony Davis more at center than they did at the power forward. My second team, I have Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, and Nikola Jokic. I specifically have Kyrie there because last year, if you remember, Kyrie was putting up a scoring clinic. And I think that'll be able to translate next year, especially with a team that him and KD have sort of orchestrated their way. And I really think Kyrie will sort of surprise some people with how much maybe he has improved or what he can really do with the ball in his hands coming up this year. I think he'll be one of the better scorers. Jimmy Butler, I think, really belongs there. He's one of the best small forwards in the game, arguably one of the greatest two-way players. And he's generally arguably also one of the greatest leaders. I think he'll put up the usual, but with everybody seeing his performance within the playoffs last year and especially the finals, I feel like there are going to be a lot more eyes on Jimmy Butler, and I feel like a lot more people are going to be willing to, recognize him for his greatness. For the third team, I have Damian Lillard, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Pascal Siakam, and Joel Embiid. As for the two guard positions, I was really heavily debating whether I put Damian and James Harden or Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker. Both of Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker seem like they're the next up, but I think Damian and James have really one more wow year within them. I think James Harden just in general is going to get it because of the crazy stats he puts up, and Damian Lillard similarly for the stats, but generally just because of how much he's able to elevate that Portland Trailblazers team. I think Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker will have a good case. It'll be interesting to see who sort of toughens it out for that third team. But Damian and James Harden is the guys I got. Kevin Durant I put at third team because I'm not sure how good he'll be when he comes back. I'm predicting he'll be 80% of the player we saw before the injury, but you never know if the Achilles, it's one of the worst, it is the worst injury in basketball. So we don't know how Kevin Durant really, I guess, bounces back from that. Pascal Siakam's sort of defaulted here. He's a great player. I think too many people clowned on him, but he still has some things to improve on. But let's face it, he's still one of the better forwards in the league. And Joel Embiid is here at center. I think I also forgot to mention why I put Jason Tatum into second team. Jason Tatum's there mainly because I really think he'll just really progress. Last year, within the regular season to the bubble to the playoffs, you saw a dramatic increase at every step. And I really think next year he'll be able to show his amazing two-way play along with better scoring and just be able to really, really be comfortable in that leading position. However, now let's look at the last and final part of the video, the all defensive teams. For first team, I have Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Jonathan Isaac, Giannis, and Anthony Davis. And for second team defense, I have Patrick Beverley, Chris Dunn, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, and Bam Adebayo. All right, let's start with Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac is an amazing defender. And last year, if you weren't watching Magic games, you would be like, who is Jonathan Isaac? He's a great defender. I don't feel like you need to pull up the stats because I'm pretty sure if you're curious enough to really ask, you will do it on your own. But he's an amazing defender, amazing shot blocker, he can guard really any position, great at picking pockets of ball handlers. He's just generally a great all-around defender. Marcus Smart, I think that's no question. Ben Simmons, each year has improved as a defender. Last year he made the defensive team. I'm for sure he'll make it again. Giannis, easy. I think he's going to be defensive player of the year, so he pretty much has to make first team. Anthony Davis, once again, I think will play center. And once again, I'm pretty sure he was the runner-up of defensive player of the year. So once again, I'm pretty sure he has to be first team. And with Patrick Beverley, hate on him all you want, but the energy, the hustle, the attentiveness that he puts into his craft on that defensive end is undeniable, and I think he'll definitely be able to make second team. Chris Dunn is a young player, up and coming, really good defender, really good at picking off passes. He's just really good at stealing the ball, and he's just really a really good perimeter defender and can really stick with some of the better ball handlers, so that's why I put him there. Jimmy Butler, no question, very versatile defender, can guard the 1 through 4 position really well, has great size, great strength, great perimeter defender, one of the better two-way players. Kawhi Leonard, even though he has the ability, the talent, and the potential to always almost every year be defensive player of the year, because of the load and the roles and the leadership he has to take on his team, he's not just able to perform at an all defensive first team. It's similar to how Kobe really early in his career during that first three-peat was recognized as one of the greatest defenders at his position. Slowly over time, just didn't put less focus, but could have put more, I guess, emphasis. He was still an amazing defender, but it didn't show through the numbers because he was putting most of his effort to fulfilling his role as a scorer. Similarly, Kawhi Leonard has to take up similar roles on the offensive end, and because of that, I think he'll only be able to get second team defense this year. And I believe Bam Adebayo will also make second team defense. He's a great defender, can guard multiple positions, can switch, rotate, shot block, contest shots at the perimeter. Just a well-rounded defender. I believe he'll make defensive player of the year. Second team defense at the center position. However, how about rookie of the year? Rookie of the year is a really interesting one. I actually don't have an answer for that. It's one of the reasons I did not mention in the intro. I think Anthony Edwards has a good case. LaMelo Ball is a good case. He's on Charlotte Hornets. He's going to probably be the player they look for. Not too familiar with this rookie draft class, but if I were to put money on it, I would say LaMelo. He seems the most confident in his abilities with his shot. He can shoot from deep. He's an amazing passer. And I just generally think he's the most ideal player for the current NBA. And most of the time, when you're looking through era, the best players tend to be the most ideal. Now, is that always the case? No. Kevin Garnett was not the most ideal player for the 2000s. They weren't looking for highly versatile defensive forwards. They were looking for more shot blockers, paint defending forwards, but KG was still able to succeed even though he wasn't the most ideal player for his time. But LaMelo Ball is the most ideal. He's a tall point guard who can defend multiple positions given the chance, and if he really works on it, an amazing passer, can space the floor, and is very confident in his shot. All things that are ideal for a modern point guard. And I generally think if he's able to take all those and translate to the NBA, he can be a future all-star. And with that being said, that's the end of the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I have some more videos coming out. One about Kobe, once again, one about Dwight Howard and Jason Tatum. So please be in tune for that. Sorry this video came out late. Thanksgiving happened. Also, happy Thanksgiving. And be sure, once again, to like, comment, subscribe. And always remember, greatness has no limits. And until next time.